Good morning, everyone. Welcome to India's number one podcast show, the weekly show with Aditya, with India's number one host, Aditya. This is episode 25, a silver jubilee episode. New Zealand have been bowled out for 157 or 158, and yes, it was the spinners Kuldeep and Chahal who wreaked havoc on the New Zealand batting, taking 7 wickets between them and 19 over 7 480 for a total. India went with a change. From the last ODI, they have rested all-rounder Jadeja and Karthik, and they got back Raidu, and Chahal and Kuldeep come back into the team. Well, let's see how this decision works out. Luckily, they're only chasing 160, so this decision will not impact the batting. But maybe they want to rest. They want to give chance to everyone so that yes, for the World Cup we have a good team ready. We even have a Shubman Gill. I presume they should have given Shubman Gill a chance in this match because Shikhar Dhawan hasn't been in best of form. And if we hit the 70 or 80 not out, chasing 160, one might say that he's in good form. Comparing that, few newspapers have been on a descent against Dhoni. They don't like the fact that Dhoni scored runs. I think these newspapers or the sports journalists of these newspapers should go back to journalism school and learn something about how to write articles or how to cover news journalism, sports journalism. While on one hand, they cannot but be gaga about the likes of Federer, Nadal and Djokovic, who are also 37 and 38. On the other hand, they find Dhoni, which is essentially a team game, to be a non-contributing factor. Well, according to me, it's time for a Nadal and a Djokovic to go. If Nadal and Novak Djokovic say that they will play for the next couple of years or they will play the upcoming tournaments, and if they are going all wow about this, then they need to do the same with someone like Dhoni or anybody else. They never said anything when a Misbah Ulaq retired at 42 or Jaisuriya retired at 42. Tendulkar, I think, stretched his career a couple of years too long to retire at 40. In fact, a special series was organized so that he could retire, so that he could play 200 matches. That just shows bullying factor it was when he forced the Indian Cricket Board to have a test match. They almost bullied the West Indies Cricket Board 6 years ago to come and play a test match with them. It was just a forcing factor. It doesn't work like that. You're not supposed to be bullying like that. Papers should write an apology letter that they will be careful whom they speak against. If they don't want Dhoni to play or they think Dhoni is a non-contributing factor, it should be uniform on all sports. Yes, it was Mohammad Shami who was a wrecking ball in the first part of the match when he picked up the wickets of Munro and Guptill, the two players who go after every ball, who are the hitters, and he got them out. Then it was Kane Williamson who scored a patient 64 of 80, a strike rate of 80, yes, a strike rate of 80, which is considered medieval. So that's just the kind of double standards that has been adopted by a few newspapers whom I shall not name, but we know what is going on here. Well, coming to New Zealand, yes, 160 is an easy target. The spinners bowled well. Then you will have the excuse that the wicket was sticky, the ball was not coming onto the bat. Spinners are not supposed to take wickets outside India. Why cannot spinners take wickets outside India? And talking about spinners, we haven't had too many good spinners except for Kumble and Harbhajan, along with all-rounders Jadeja and Ashwin. We don't have a plethora of spinners who have done well. Now Kuldeep, Chahal and the all-rounder Jadeja have been good. From New Zealand's side, they only have Mitchell Santner, a good all-rounder, and though New Zealand tried very hard, it didn't work. If a Dhoni-like batsman was with New Zealand, they would have got to 200. Like we saw in yesterday's match against Pakistan, South Africa, they were chasing 200, they were 89 for 5 in 17 overs, and then two batsmen, the two most inexperienced players, relatively inexperienced players, got them home. Player playing in his second match and Andil Peklubayo, who was in his 36th match, wasn't considered all-rounder, whose batting skills were in doubt. He did what a Lance Clune or a Sean Pollock do so often. So if we can give that kind of leverage to a Lance Clune, Sean Pollock, Jack Callis, who were great players, but let me tell you, they didn't start off with a bang. They struggled. So I think that knock by Peklubayo and his partner in that 120-run partnership was simply brilliant. Tom Latham was supposed to do what Dhoni does so often, getting those singles and all, but it didn't work out. So let's just be clear that what Dhoni did in those 3 matches against Australia has to be epic. He found form. The strike rate is irrelevant. If you win the match, those things won't matter. If you hit only 2 sixes or 2 fours, these things are relevant. Now coming to another classic match, Rey Mysterio and Andre Cien Almos showed classic match before Samoa Joe interfered. A run up to Royal Rumble as heated up as we saw yesterday in Raw when Brock Lesnar and Finn Balor came face to face. It has become a David Goliath story. So yes, Lesnar versus Balor for the Universal Championship. On the other hand, you have Styles versus Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship. So 2 epic men's championship are going to be held at Royal Rumble. You have 60 people, out of which 2 will be the ones heading the main event of WrestleMania. 30 men and 30 women. Talking about the Women's Championship, the Becky Lynch Asuka Championship is going to be another stunning one, playing mind games. What about the one between Sasha Banks and Ronda Rousey? Sasha Banks' mind games over Ronda Rousey has worked. She has unsettled Ronda Rousey as far as the championship is concerned, and that match will be another classic. Coming back to cricket, for me, the first proper finishers for India were Dravid, Yuvraj and Kev. Before that, I am sorry, I do not count anyone else as a finisher. For me, a Jadeja, a Azharuddin, a Robin Singh, they are nowhere in that list. And coming back to some people who think they are over smart, well, what about Harsha Bhogle? I think if he says that a few people need to go, then I think he should be the first one to lead by example. His time is up. He should retire as a commentator. He's been lucky for the past 25 to 26 years and he should call it a day. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Have a great weekend. I will be back with another episode very soon.